Chapter 539, Do the dark clouds in the sky know me? Your spiritual power is limited. All of you, retreat into the cave. I will bear the heavenly punishment, Di Biming said to his subordinates. Your Excellency, you can't. It seems that the power of heavenly punishment isn't minor. You can't bear it alone. I'll bear it with you, Anfeng said. Your Excellency, what Anfeng said makes sense. Well, help you share the burden. It's better than carrying it all alone. Last time, you were seriously injured when you carried the heavenly thunder for Miss Jiu. This time, you can't take this lightly, An advised from the side. The other secret guards also expressed their support to share the burden. They fought so hard that their faces turned red. Yun Chujio raised her small claws weakly. What are you doing? Heavenly punishment? Why do you want heavenly punishment? How did you offend the damned heavens? Miss Jiu, we're from the Tianyuan continent. If we killed someone on the Qingxian continent, we would definitely be punished. After we rushed in just now, we killed hundreds of people. Heavenly punishment will definitely befall on us. The corner of Anfeng's eyes twitched. Only Miss Jiu dared to talk about the heavens like that. She was really audacious. Yun Chujio was stunned at first, then she clapped with a smile. You don't have to fight anymore. Just let it strike me. Anyway, I haven't been struck for a long time and am feeling a little itch for it. Anfeng and An were slightly better off, but the rest of the secret guards were dumbfounded. They had not recovered from what had happened just now. Their honorable sir brought them to Qingxian continent to save people. However, the scene just now made them feel that even if they had not come, the little girl would be safe. Also, why did the little girl seem to be talking to the dark clouds in the sky just now? The strangest thing was that the piece of dark cloud seemed to understand her. When it floated away, it seemed to be alive and kicking. What the hell? Right, what did the little girl say? Let the lightning strike her. It had been a long time since she was struck. She felt a little itchy for it. Was this little girl sick? Was she talking nonsense? Black thing, the heavenly punishment is here to strike us. If it doesn't strike us, it won't stop. Even if you want to be struck by lightning, they won't strike you, Di Biming explained. Yun Chujio curled her lips. TSK. Prince Charming, you've underestimated my ability to provoke the dark cloud. Just you wait and see. Stand a little further away and watch how I lure the lightning over. Di Biming was skeptical and his subordinates felt that Yun Chujio was spouting nonsense. They were all on high alert and were prepared to share some of the burden with their honored lord if the thunder came. Yun Chujio looked at the dark clouds in the sky. They looked quite big, but they were not very thick. It seemed that the heavens hated her a lot. Every time it sent someone to attack her, it seemed to be much thicker than this dark cloud. Hey! Dark clouds in the sky, do you know who I am? I'm the Yun Chujio that your dark cloud world hates the most. Do you want to strike me a few times to vent your anger? Yun Chujio stretched her neck and shouted toward the sky. The dark clouds in the sky trembled for a moment. The news had spread all over the dark cloud world that there was actually a monster in a low-level world like the Qingxian continent. After being struck several times, almost all of the heavy-duty dark clouds had been mobilized, but she was still not dead. Not only was she not dead, she was getting more and more lively. The dark clouds were really angered to death. However, on the way here, it had met dark cloud number 9. It seemed to be in a good mood. Could it be that it had gotten used to striking this little monster? Chapter 540, Was fooled. Hey, what are you trembling for? I'm very kind. Besides, I didn't scold you. This is the first time I'm meeting you. Let's discuss something, shall we? Yun Chujio raised her head and said with a smile. No matter how the dark cloud looked at Yun Chujio, she looked like a little devil with horns on her head. The more it looked at her, the more Yun Chujia's smile became increasingly frightening. The dark cloud trembled even more violently. Yun Chujio took out the Phoenix Nirvana immortal handkerchief and tied it on her head. Then, she hooked her finger at the dark cloud in the sky. "You're too timid. I didn't even threaten you. What are you afraid of? Well, aren't you here to strike people? You can strike anyone. Just strike my Prince Charming once, and keep the rest for me. Aren't you curious why the other clouds can't strike me to death? Don't you want to give it a try? When you see other clouds in the future, you'll have a common topic to talk about, right? What if you, little cloud, succeed in striking me to death? Come on, don't be polite. Strike me to your heart's content." The dark cloud in the sky was indeed stirred up by its competitive spirit. The little girl is right. If I don't give it a try, how would I know if it works? I don't believe that there's actually someone who can't be hacked to death. Boom! Boom! Several bolts of lightning struck Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio could not help but twitch her lips. These bolts of lightning were too thin. They could not be compared to the ones that struck her. The damn heavens really wanted to kill her that time. When the guards brought by Di Biming saw several bolts of lightning heading straight for Yun Chujio, they thought to themselves, "It's over. This little girl will definitely be turned into ash." It was strange. Why did their revered lord act as if nothing had happened at such a critical time, and did not even help the little girl? After a moment, the bodyguards were dumbfounded. They saw that the little girl was not only unharmed, she was even more alive after being struck. "Little dark cloud, you are indeed much weaker than the other clouds. This strike of yours is like scratching an itch. Did you drift over without having lunch? Or are you the most useless of all the dark clouds?" Yun Chujio said disdainfully. The dark cloud in the sky was trembling. No wonder those clouds say that this little scourge can anger the clouds to death. This is a lesson. I don't believe in evil anymore. I must kill her today. Hack. 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 Strike. Strike. A quarter of an hour later, the dark cloud shivered and floated away. This baby is so bitter. This baby was tricked. I used all the thunder to hack Yun Chujio, this scourge. I've totally forgotten about my mission and why I was there in the first place. This baby wants to die, so no one stop me. Yun Chujio clapped her little hands and hugged Di Biming's waist. "Prince Charming, how is it? It's done. I did good, right?" Yun Chujio had a look that said, "Praise me. Praise me." Di Biming's heart softened, but when he saw the trace of blood at the corner of Yun Chujio's mouth, his face turned cold again. "Black thing, come with me. I have something to say to you." Yun Chujio followed Di Biming and left, leaving behind a group of confused guards. Oh my God! That little girl's hands were dirty, and she left 2 black marks on our honored lord's clothes. Our honored lord actually did not shake off that little girl. Originally, we already felt that things were abnormal when our lord wanted to save a little girl. We didn't expect that our lord would finally be enlightened. Heavens, who said that our lord was gay? Who said that our lord was a good man? Open your damn eyes, our lord likes women. Chapter 541, Di Biming admonishes little Jiu. Di Biming took a deep breath and solemnly said, "Black thing. There are some things that I didn't intend to say because I was afraid that you would be too shocked. But now it seems that if I keep quiet, I will end up harming you. You have always been opportunistic and relied on your words to take advantage of me. You also think that because you have the heavenly thunder spirit root and are smart, you can afford to be complacent and neglect your cultivation. Other than eating, drinking, and having fun all day, did you take cultivation seriously? Usually, you put your attention on reading those books and dealing with a few scumbags. Others went to the trials to increase their actual combat experience. Have you ever been there? Even in the trials of the Great Void Mystic Realm and the Wuwei Tower, you relied on external forces to win. When have you relied on your own abilities to win? Also, don't you know that you can't bite off more than you can chew when it comes to alchemy, formations, and talismans? You fiddle with everything, which one of them do you understand very well? Not only are you not good at it, but you also lack focus on one particular technique. If this continues, sooner or later, you will suffer a great loss. You even said that you want to protect the Yun family and look for your adoptive parents. What right do you have to say such words? Just like this time, if the people from the League of Assassins really intended to kill the Yun family members in front of you, do you have the ability to stop them? Yun Chujia's mouth was wide open and her face was filled with shock. Di Baiming's words were like an arrow that went straight to the heart. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio had been affected by his words and he couldn't bear it. However, for her to improve quickly, he had to make her change. Otherwise, sooner or later, something would happen. At this moment, he was very afraid. If the black thing didn't attract the heavenly thunder and if the heavenly thunder had not struck the League of Assassins leader as she said, then the consequences would be unimaginable. Yun Chujio was stunned. What the pretty boy said made sense. In her previous life, she had lived a hard life. In this life, she had thought that it would be easier, so she just wanted to muddle along. She felt that there was nothing wrong with that. Ever since she transmigrated, things had been going smoothly. Although there was a strange grass in her dantian that made her a little worried, whether it was in the Yun family or the Linghua sect, she had not met any powerful enemies other than a few scum. Even if she had offended Du Gai, however, with the Linghua sect as her backer, he did not openly dare do anything to her. Moreover, she had an awesome heavenly thunder spirit root. Even heavenly thunder could not kill her. She also had an immortal artifact like the rolling pin, so she felt invincible. She felt that cultivating amounted to nothing much. Anyway, she could easily level up without cultivating, so why was it so hard? Why would she not use external forces? It was both easy and convenient. However, this incident had alarmed her. If Goldface and the others did not have a trace of benevolence, not only would she have died, but even her grandfather and the others would have as well. The pretty boy was right. Only strength was the absolute truth. Only when she became strong enough could she protect the people she wanted to protect and live the life she wanted to live. Di Baiming sighed in his heart when he saw the changing expression on Yun Chujia's face. Although it was hurtful to say so, it was still better than waking up after tragedy had occurred. The expression on Yun Chujia's face gradually turned from confusion to determination. She smiled brightly at Di Baiming. Prince Charming, what you said makes sense. From now on, I will work hard and not waste any more time. Di Baiming nodded. He was very gratified. Although the black thing was usually a little mischievous, she was still very clear when it mattered. Yun Chujio continued, Prince Charming, let's go. Let's go search the League of Assassins' treasury. All the defensive spiritual artifacts on me have been destroyed. This time, I will get 180 defensive spiritual artifacts to hang on me. I will also search for some poison pills and talismans. In the future, if anyone wants to kill me, I will poison them to death. Di Baiming. Chapter 542, had a jade medallion engraved with spider lilies. Hee, Prince Charming, I'm just joking with you. However, we still need to equip this thing when we need to. It's always good to have more life-saving methods. Let's go and ask those assassins which bastard wants to kill me. Di Baiming nodded and sighed in his heart. I'm afraid that the black thing's temperamental character will not change for the time being. I still need to urge her to cultivate more. Goldface had already woken up after taking the pill. When he heard Yun Chujia's question, he shook his head. The contract to kill you was personally ordered by the leader. We did not contact the buyer. The leader only gave us your information and told us to capture you and send you to Longping Mountain. The buyer would then pick you up there. Yun Chuzhou frowned and poured out all the things in the storage ring of the assassin's leader. There were a lot of spirit stones, a few spirit tools, a few bottles of pills, and a jade token with patterns engraved on it. This is the spider lily, right? Which force uses the spider lily as a symbol? Yun Chuzhou asked curiously. Di Baiming shook his head. I've never heard of any force using the spider lily as a symbol. Seeing that Di Baiming had never seen it before, Yun Chuzhou could only put away the jade token temporarily. Miss Yun, why don't we go to Longping Mountain? Maybe the buyer will wait there. Gold-Face suggested. Yun Chuzhou smiled and said, how is that possible? With such a big commotion here, the buyer will definitely have fled. However, we can try, but the chances of success are very small. Lend me your flying spirit tool. I'll get someone to go to Longping Mountain to check out the situation according to the agreed time. After Gold-Face nodded in agreement, Yun Chuzhou took out those pills for Gold-Face to identify. Gold-Face said with a wry smile, Miss Yun, apart from the poison pills, the rest are all antidotes that treat the symptoms but not the root of the problem. We need to take them once a month. They can't completely remove the poison from our bodies. Yun Chuzhou nodded. It's all right. There are quite a number of these antidotes. They should be able to last for a while. I'll take some and let Elder Qi take a look. He'll be able to identify the herbs inside. When the time comes, the right medicine will be able to remove the poison from your bodies. Gold-Face, there are still a few hundred people in the cave. I don't know much about them. I will leave you to decide whether to kill them or not. I will leave the League of Assassins to you. If you can accept any missions as guards in the future, you must inform me. I will hire you to protect the Yun family. Gold-Face was stunned. He never thought that Yun Chuzhou would be completely uninterested in the League of Assassins. He thought that even if Yun Chuzhou did not take over, the man who was known as His Majesty would also take over. After all, the League of Assassins was an infamous organization. If it were not for Di Baiming's warning, Yun Chuzhou would have taken over the League of Assassins. She had decided to focus on her cultivation, so she pretended to say that. However, she had shamelessly taken the League of Assassins leader's storage ring. The spirit stones in it probably amounted to half of the League's wealth. Miss Yun, you have done us a great favor. In the future, leave the guarding of the Yun family to us. As long as we are still alive, we will never let anyone hurt the Yun family. Gold-Face still felt like he was in a dream. The undefeatable chief in their eyes was really dead. In business, the expenses must be paid. Just give me a 20% discount. Big brother Gold-Face, please take care of the aftermath. We will leave now. If there is any news about the antidote, I will send someone to deliver the letter to you. But the first thing you need to do is pay for it. Chapter 543, Miss Jiu is really bold and unrestrained. Seeing that Yun Chuzhou insisted, Gold-Face could not say anything more. After chatting for a while, Yun Chuzhou and Di Baiming left the League of Assassins alongside their men. Di Baiming asked An Feng to deliver the letter to the Linghua sect and An Yin to bring a dozen of his men to Longping Mountain to guard it. He then brought the rest of his men and Yun Chuzhou back to the Yun family via flying spirit tools. Little Jiu, before Gold-Face and the others arrive, I will leave a few men to guard the Yun family. However, the spirit energy in Yi City is very thin. You'd better suggest that your grandfather move the Yun family to Linghua City. Linghua City is rich in spiritual energy and is also under the influence of the Linghua faction. It will be safer there, Di Baiming suggested. Yun Chuzhou blinked her starry eyes and looked at Di Baiming. My Prince Charming, I admire you so much now. Not only did you stop me from falling into the abyss of self-satisfaction, but you also considered so much for me. I love you so much. Di Baiming's secret guards were all dumbfounded and shocked. Oh my God! This Miss Jiu is really bold and unrestrained. We are too embarrassed to listen to these words. She is really too passionate. No wonder our revered one has been single for so many years. It turns out that she likes this bold behavior. None of the young ladies in the Tian Yuan continent are this fierce. Di Baiming's ears were sharp as he scolded, "Speak properly, what nonsense are you spouting? Hurry up and cultivate. Have you forgotten what you said?" Yun Chujiu pouted and said, "I know. Humph, I'll definitely cultivate properly. It won't be long before I surpass you. When that time comes, I'll teach you a lesson." The shadow agents secretly curled their lips. Miss Jiu overestimated herself. They were at the 5th level of the exalted spiritual realm, and you? The 4th level of the spiritual enhancement realm. There's a huge difference between heaven and earth. Doesn't your face hurt when you say that? Yun Chujiu started to meditate and cultivate while mumbling. She was used to being undisciplined. It was really difficult for her to just sit there all of a sudden. However, to not be bullied by others anymore, she had to go all out. Di Baiming saw Yun Chujiu had started to cultivate obediently and felt a little gratified in his heart. The Black Thing's talent was amazing. As long as she cultivated diligently, she would be able to enter the Tian Yuan continent very soon. When that time comes, we will be able to get along day and night. When Di Baiming thought of something, his face turned hot. He could not help but look at Yun Chujiu. When he saw her, he was so angry that his nose almost went crooked. He saw Yun Chujiu's little head slowly falling asleep. The only person who could fall asleep during cultivation was Yun Chujiu, this heartless person. Di Baiming thought about it. Black Thing was exhausted from the day. She should not be in a hurry to succeed. She should take it slow. Di Baiming took out a blanket from his storage ring and spread it out. After that, he gently carried Yun Chujiu and placed her on it. The next morning, Yun Chujiu and Di Baiming arrived at the Yun family home. The Yun family was in a state of misery. Yun Xiaoshan's white hair turned white overnight, and he seemed to have aged 10 years. "Grandfather! Grandfather! Little Jiu, I'm back." Yun Xiaotian thought he was hallucinating and asked housekeeper Ji in a trembling voice, "Old Ji, did you hear little Jiu's voice?" "I heard it. I heard it too. Miss Jiu must have returned safely." Housekeeper Ji said excitedly. "Quick! Quick! Follow me out to take a look." Just as Yun Xiaotian finished speaking, the door was pushed open, and a bright and beautiful little person jumped in. "Grandfather! Little Jiu is back." Chapter 544, Isn't Your Master Very Ugly? When Yun Xiaotian saw that Yun Chujiu had returned unscathed, he wept and said, "Good. Good. Little Jiu is still alive. The heavens really have eyes." When Yun Chujiu saw that Yun Xiaotian had aged so much in one night, her heart ached. "Grandfather! It's all little Jiu's fault. I will not be naughty in the future. I will cultivate well so that no one will dare to bully our Yun family. I will also find my father and mother to come back and show respect to you." When Yun Xiaotian heard Yun Chujiu's words, he hugged Yun Chujiu and cried bitterly. "Master, Miss Jiu is back. You should be happy. Besides, there are still guests here." Housekeeper Ji consoled. Yun Xiaotian used his sleeve to wipe his tears. Only then did he realize that an imposing young man was standing at the door, so he asked Yun Chujiu, "Little Jiu, this is?" "Ah, this is my man, my master. He was the one who smashed several doors of our Yun family." Yun Chujiu's face turned slightly red and revealed a rare shy side to her. Yun Xiaotian was slightly stunned. "Little Jiu, I remember that you told grandfather that your master is very ugly. He has scarred eyes, a nose like garlic, and a toad's mouth. This young man is so handsome, how could he be your master?" Yun Chujio wanted to stuff Yun Xiaoshan's mouth shut. Grandfather, you are trying to kill me. The pretty boy will not let me off this time. Di Biming raised his eyebrows and secretly gritted his teeth. Very good, black thing, just you wait. You are not afraid of getting even with me. I will deal with you later. Yun Chujio quickly made up for it. Grandfather, are you old and have a bad memory? I clearly said that my master is handsome, beautiful, and looks better than Pan Yu. Yun Xiaotian saw that Yun Chujio's eyes were twitching, and he laughed dryly. Ah, yes. Yes. My old bones have such a bad memory. Young master, don't take it seriously. Di Biming bowed to Yun Xiaotian as a junior and said with a faint smile, Senior, there's no need to worry. I know little Jiu's character very well. I won't blame her. Yun Xiaotian glanced between Di Biming and Yun Chujio and immediately understood the relationship between the two of them. What bullshit. Were the two of them getting together? Grandfather, it's all thanks to this man. Ah, the young master Di saved me. Otherwise, I really wouldn't have been able to see you. Yun Chujio quickly changed the topic. Yun Xiaotian saw that Yun Chujio showed a rare look of a shy little girl and didn't expose her, so he asked about the incident. Yun Chujio was very excited as she told Yun Xiaotian about what happened. In short, she pushed all the credit to Di Biming and simplified the things that she had gone through so that Yun Xiaotian would not be worried. Yun Xiaotian heard Yun Chujio's words and had a very good impression of Di Biming. Not only was he a good-looking person, but he was also very good to little Jiu. He could try to matchmake them. Grandfather, I've thought about it. You should move the Yun family to Linghua City. You don't have to worry about the expenses. I have plenty of spirit stones now. Firstly, the spiritual qi is much denser than Yi City. Secondly, it's in Linghua sect territory. It's also safer there. Most importantly, it's close. My brothers and sisters can often go back to see you. Well, what you said makes sense, but the old house is left behind by our ancestors after all. Grandfather, at most, we can leave a few servants to guard it. We're not selling it. If you want to come back and take a look, he'll stay with you for a few days. Let grandfather think about it again. You haven't had lunch yet, right? Let's have lunch first. Tomorrow, grandfather will make my decision. Chapter 545, What's His is Mine. Yun Chujio and Di Biming came to the small courtyard where Yun Chujio used to live. The courtyard was already cleaned up. Chun Yu was so happy when she saw Yun Chujio that she cried. Yun Chujio comforted the little girl and sent her out to get some tea and pastries. Prince Charming, do you have any emotions when you visit the old place again? Yun Chujio asked playfully. The corner of Di Biming's mouth curled up. He also recalled some of the past events. At that time, he wished he could smash the black thing to death to refine medicine. He did not expect that his heart would actually be moved in the end. The two of them were silent for a moment, but their feelings were slowly developing. It was not until Chun Yu brought over tea and pastries that Yun Chujio's face turned slightly red. She coughed dryly, My Prince Charming, this jade token is marked with spider lilies. No matter how I look at it, it's very strange, said Yun Chujio to Di Biming as she took out the jade token with the spider lily pattern. It is indeed somewhat unusual. However, since the person who wanted to kill you hired someone to kill you instead of personally taking action, it seems that he still has some reservations. As long as you take some precautions and don't give the enemy an opportunity, there won't be any danger for the time being. Di Biming was afraid that Yun Chujio would be too worried, so he comforted her. Yeah. You dare try to kill me? When I return to the Linghua sect, I will cultivate properly. When I find out who did it, I will kill him. Yun Chujio said angrily. This matter could be considered to be the biggest loss she had suffered since she transmigrated. Little Jiu, remember what you said. If I find out that you've been lazy, I won't forgive you. The corners of Di Biming's mouth curled up. The little black thing's unyielding look was really, yes, quite pleasing to the eye. The next morning, Yun Xiaotian decided to move to Linghua City, and the entire Yun residence got to work. The next morning, the members of the Yun family rode on Di Biming's flying spirit tool and rushed to Linghua City. Little Jiu, the houses in Linghua City are not cheap. If it doesn't work out, we will buy a smaller one. In any case, grandfather didn't bring many people here. Yun Xiaotian sighed inwardly. These years, the Yun family had accumulated quite a lot of silver. However, after arriving at Linghua City, the money was like small change. Yun Chuzhou was about to speak when Di Biming said with a faint smile, "Senior, you don't have to worry. I have already arranged for my men to buy a new piece of property. You can stay here for now. If you are not satisfied, we can change it in the future." Yun Xiaotian was stunned. Is this fine? It's really, grandfather, you don't have to be polite with him. What's his is mine is still mine. Using his spirit stones is no different from using mine. You can just stay there. Yun Chuzhou felt that the pretty boy was really doing a lot for her. She was really satisfied. When Yun Xiaotian saw this, he could only say a few polite words. It could be considered that he had received Di Biming's good intentions. As soon as they entered Linghua City, An Feng came over to welcome them and brought them to the newly bought house. The house was not only spacious and grand but it was also located in the bustling area of Linghua City. Yun Xiaotian was extremely satisfied, and the more he looked at Di Biming, the more satisfied he became. It was not because this house was valuable, but because this kind of affection towards little Jiu was truly rare. The Yun family had just settled down, and an Yin had returned. As expected, nothing was found there. The buyer must have heard the news and did not show up. Just as Yun Chuzhou was about to return to the Linghua sect, Goldface arrived. "Miss Yun, when we were searching the League leader's bedroom, we made an important discovery." Yun Chuzhou was very curious. "What discovery?" Chapter 546, Eye of the Earth, we found the real leader of the League of Assassins. It turns out that all the leaders we've seen over the years are all fake. Goldface unveiled the bad news. "What? There's such a thing? Then is the true leader of the League still alive?" Yun Chuzhou asked in surprise. Although he's still alive, he was tortured until he was no longer human. The reason why the fake leader didn't kill the true leader was to interrogate him about a secret of the League of Assassins. The true leader resisted the torture and didn't reveal anything, that's why he's still alive. Goldface sighed. "Then when was your true leader captured?" 8 years ago. "Then didn't you find any clues?" "Miss Yun, we also suspected that in recent years, the fake leader not only made us take poison pills but also made us more violent. Most importantly, he even played with some young girls. We thought that it was the leader's cultivation that caused his temperament to change. We didn't think that he was a fake. The 3 rules of your league were also set by the true league leader, right?" Yun Chuzhou asked. Goldface nodded. This rule was indeed set by the true league leader. Perhaps the fake league leader was afraid of being exposed, so he kept them as they were. No wonder. Initially, when I heard these 3 rules, I thought that the leader of the League of Assassins was a decent person. I didn't expect him to be an old bastard. Turns out he was a fake. Yun Chuzhou initially decided to try to talk to the leader of the League of Assassins because of these 3 rules, who would have thought that he was a fake. Yun Chuzhou did not ask what secret the fake leader of Goldface wanted to know. The secret that the real leader had risked his life to protect must be very important to the League of Assassins. Unexpectedly, Goldface took the initiative to say, "Miss Yun, our real leader is grateful to you for saving the League of Assassins. He asked me to tell you that the thing that the fake league leader wanted to know about was the eye of the earth. Yun Chuzhou was at a loss. What the hell was the eye of the earth? Di Baiming was shocked. He explained to Yun Chuzhou, every continent has an eye of the earth. The eye of the earth continuously sends out qi. The spiritual qi is formed from the qi of the eye of the earth. The eye of the earth contains a huge amount of energy. If a person cultivates in it, he will have an astonishing cultivation speed. However, if the eye of the earth is destroyed, then the entire continent will lose its qi. Ah, what the fuck? That fake leader's intentions were larger than we thought. Then he isn't alone. This jade token with the spider lily should be the sigil of that organization. Could it be that they want to destroy the Azure Mystic Continent? Yun Chuzhou said in shock. Di Baiming's brows furrowed tightly. Since this organization's plans were so grand, it was likely that they weren't from the Azure Mystic Continent. Then where did they come from? Does your leader know the location of the eye of the earth? Yun Chuzhou asked curiously. Goldface shook his head, he smiled bitterly, our leader doesn't know at all. He has been lying to that fake leader to save his life. I don't know why that person thinks that our true leader knew about the eye of the earth. Our League of Assassins has met with an undeserved calamity. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. It was not as if the true leader did not know about it. However, after this incident, she had become more cautious, so she naturally denied it. However, she was not interested in the eye of the earth. Whether or not he knew about it had nothing to do with her. However, the power behind this must not be underestimated. However, she did not know if the person who hired the fake leader to kill her was related to this power. Chapter 547, I will stay behind to supervise you. After Goldface left, Di Baiming said to Yun Chuzhou solemnly, it seems that the matter is much more serious than we thought. The faction behind the fake leader is very powerful. You must immediately return to the Linghua sect and inform Master Shenyuan about this. Let him join forces with the other factions to investigate this matter thoroughly. Yun Chuzhou nodded and bade farewell to Yun Xiaotian before returning to the Linghua sect. Yun Chuzhou told Master Shenyuan about what had happened with the fake league leader, and Master Shenyuan was also shocked. I've only heard of the eye of the earth. Its location is very secretive. Some say it's in the heart of the 10,000-year-old ancient tree, some say it's in the nest of 10,000-year-old demon beasts, and some say it's on the seabed of the deep sea. In short, for tens of thousands of years, no one has known the location of the eye of the earth. Just what kind of force is so bold and reckless to want to involve the eye of the earth? They would make an enemy out of the entire Azure Mystic Continent. Master Shenyuan said angrily. Master Shenyuan, this matter is of great importance. I suggest that you try your best to let a limited number of people know about this matter, and then use some roundabout methods during investigations. Di Baiming suggested. Master Shenyuan nodded. Young Master Di, what you said is right. I will discuss it with the other 3 sect leaders and then decide on the next step. Little Jiu, since the true culprit has not been found, don't leave the Linghua sect for the time being. Yun Chuzhou nodded. Master Shenyuan, don't worry. I have already decided. From now on, I will work hard and cultivate. Master Shenyuan deeply doubted what little Jiu just said. This little girl couldn't stay idle at all. How could she spend time cultivating in the courtyard? As long as she doesn't cause trouble for me, I will be satisfied. Yun Chuzhou saw Master Xuanyuan's doubtful look and immediately became angry. Master Shenyuan, do you not believe that I can do it? Humph. Let's wait and see. I will make sure that the back mountain of Middle Peak is struck by lightning from time to time. Master Shenyuan reacted for a moment before he understood what Yun Chuzhou meant. This fellow would be struck by lightning once he advanced. If he was struck by lightning from time to time, he would continue to advance. Master Xianyuan couldn't help but laugh. Then I will be waiting for the good news. Go back and cultivate properly. I have to inform the other 3 masters about the Eye of the Earth. Yun Chujiu left the jade token with the spider lily engraved on it to Master Xianyuan. Then, she hopped back to her courtyard with Di Baiming. Yun Chuzi and the others were waiting at the entrance of the courtyard. When they saw Yun Chujiu, they couldn't help but feel excited. Yun Chujia's small face was very serious as she said, "Brothers and sisters, this matter has rung a warning bell for us. We have to hurry up and cultivate. From now on, if the sect has a suitable trial mission, we have to participate. We can quickly increase our combat experience and also increase our spiritual power that way." Yun Chuzi and the others nodded. This matter had dealt a huge blow to them, especially when they watched Yun Chujiu being taken away, but they were powerless. That kind of helplessness, the feeling of incompetence, was painful to the bone. After Yun Chuzi and the others left, Di Baiming said, "I have nothing else to do for the time being. I will stay here to supervise your cultivation. If you participate in the trial, I will also follow you. Firstly, I will ensure your safety. Secondly, I will prevent you from taking advantage of others. During the trial, firstly, you are not allowed to use defensive spirit tools, secondly, you are not allowed to use spirit pets, and thirdly, you are not allowed to use poison talismans. You must use your skills and spiritual power to win." Yun Chujiu suddenly felt her future fade away. Chapter 548, Yun Chujius guarantee. Black thing, what's with that expression of yours? Have you forgotten what you said? Di Baiming raised his eyebrows and questioned Yun Chujiu when he saw that she looked like she had nothing to live for. "Prince Charming, you've misunderstood. I'm touched. You've done your job well. You've worked so hard for my sake," Yun Chujiu said flatteringly. Di Baiming frowned. Why did the last sentence sound so awkward? "My Prince Charming, let's eat first. I'll start cultivating right after we finish eating. I'll keep my word." Yun Chujiu quickly changed the topic. After the 2 of them finished their dinner, Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and said, "My Prince Charming, my defensive spirit tools have been broken by that fake League of Assassins leader. Give me a few more for self-defense. I promise I won't use them up." Di Baiming also felt that it was necessary to give her a few defensive spirit tools. If she encountered a strong enemy, she would have an extra life-saving method, so he said, "I'll ask an Een to go back tomorrow and get a few for you. You can cultivate in peace first." Yun Chujiu nodded her head happily and began to cultivate bitterly. It was easy to go from frugality to extravagance, but not vice versa. After sitting for a while, Yun Chujiu felt that her legs were sore, her arms uncomfortable, and even her hair felt itchy. Prince Charming, can I rest for a while?" Yun Chujiu asked pitifully. "It's only been 2 hours, why should I rest?" "Continue. If you continue to be noisy, you won't be sleeping tonight." Di Baiming glared at her. Yun Chujiu pursed her lips and could only continue to cultivate. From this day on, Yun Chujiu's miserable days began. Other than eating and sleeping, she spent all her time cultivating. If she slacked off for even a moment, Di Baiming's knife would fly towards her. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujiu was still slacking off from time to time, and in a fit of anger, he forced her to write a letter of apology. Yun Chujiu pouted and wrote a letter in a carefree manner. Then, she threw it to Di Baiming arrogantly. "Take it." Di Baiming looked at it and was furious. This fellow was indeed a repeat offender. After the 3 big words of the letter of apology, it was 0000001 again. "Dear Prince Charming, I promise that I will be conscientious and diligent in the future. I will cultivate according to your arrangements every day. Although such inhuman cultivation will seriously affect my growth and development and hinder my beautiful curves, to make Prince Charming feel at ease and make me stronger, I will definitely cultivate well. Secondly, I promise that I will not be complacent in the future and will not take advantage of opportunities. I will be an honest person and do things conscientiously. If I cannot do the above 2 points, I will willingly accept my Prince Charming's scolding and domestic violence. Guarantor, little Jiao has been tortured to the point where she has nothing to live for. When Di Baiming saw the growth and beautiful curves, he naturally thought of the sentence that Yun Chujiao once said, "Use your chest to suffocate you." He could not help but feel a little hot all over his body. He shouted angrily, "What kind of nonsense is this? Continue to cultivate." Yun Chujiao pouted and could only continue to cultivate. Yun Chujiao was a person who muddled along. However, once she became serious, even she scared herself. In less than half a month, she was going to break through again. Ha! I am now at the 4th layer of the spirit cultivator realm. I wonder how many layers I will break through this time. A genius is indeed a genius. As long as you work hard, you will improve rapidly. Some people are useless even if they are jealous. Yun Chujiao glanced at Di Baiming. Di Baiming sneered, "Black thing, are you going to slack off again? Do you need me to take out your apology letter so that you can recall what you said?" Chapter 549, Yun Chujia's life was hanging by a thread. Yun Chujiao immediately became listless. She pouted and said, "You have to praise me for my good performance, right? If you continue to hit me like this, I will lose my confidence." Di Baiming snorted coldly and ignored her. Di Baiming thought to himself, even if all the people in Qingxian continent had lost their confidence, you would not. Your self-confidence is limitless. Seeing that Di Baiming ignored her, Yun Chujiao cursed Wu Yun dozens of times. Seeing that the dark clouds in the sky had already floated over, she hopped towards the back mountain of Zhongfeng. Di Baiming was worried, so he followed her. "Prince Charming, don't worry. I'm used to being struck by lightning. Even if I don't get struck every other day, I still feel like I'm lacking something," Yun Chujiao said with a smile. Di Baiming was not too nervous. Seeing that Wu Yun was not too heavy, he probably just wanted to leave after a few strikes. Yun Chujiao looked up. Wasn't this the Wu Yun that helped her to fight the fake league leader? She waved her hands at the sky with a smile. "Hey! Little Wu Yun, long time no see. Did you miss me? I missed you a lot." The dark clouds in the sky shook slightly, as a greeting to Yun Chujiao. "Come on, little Wu Yun, strike me. You know that I'm a little scourge that can't be killed by chopping. You don't have to waste your energy. Just strike me a few times as a token. You should go back as soon as possible after chopping me. You might be able to make it in time for lunch." Yun Chujiao stood there casually. "Wu Yun," she said to the dark clouds in the sky. The dark clouds in the sky had already formed a friendship with Yun Chujiao. As expected, they just casually struck Yun Chujiao a few times and floated away. The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched. Could this Wu Yun have been infected by something? It's a perfectly fine cloud. If you don't float away, why are you still jumping up and down? TSK, this is indeed a familiar cloud that's easy to handle. It's done so easily. In the future, as long as this little Wu Yun comes to attack me, won't I be able to do it so easily every time? It seems that if other clouds come to attack me in the future, I have to have a good relationship with them too. Prince Charming, guess how many levels I've leveled up this time? Yun Chujiao asked proudly. Damn, my efforts have finally paid off. All these days of suffering had not been in vain. 2 levels. Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. TCH. Can a genius like me be so weak? 3 levels. I am now at the 7th layer of the spirit cultivator realm. Ha! Yun Chujia's words came to an abrupt stop. Her eyes rolled and she actually fainted. Di Baiming was shocked and quickly grabbed Yun Chujia's waist. Yun Chujia's face turned extremely pale, and it was as if all of her life force had suddenly disappeared. Di Baiming's eyes were blood red. He trembled as he placed his hand on Yun Chujia's pulse. Fortunately, although Yun Chujia's pulse was very weak, she was still alive. Di Baiming was helpless at this moment. He had already given Yun Chujio the only chaos vitality pill he had last time. Although he had a lot of pills with him, he was afraid that the medicine would not be right and would end up harming Yun Chujio. Di Baiming carried Yun Chujio like a madman and went to find Elder Qi. Elder Qi, who was studying the antidote of the League of Assassins, was shocked. After checking Yun Chujia's pulse, his face turned pale. She is neither poisoned nor injured, but the life force in her body is fading rapidly. I'm afraid she won't last for more than 3 days. After receiving the news, Master Xianyuan rushed over with a group of elders. Although everyone was anxious, they could not find the reason why Yun Chujio suddenly fainted. Chapter 550. There was a stalk of grass in her dantian. Di Baiming looked at the pale-faced Yun Chujio on the bed. The dull pain in his heart was as sharp as a knife. Just a moment ago, she was still showing off to him. How did she suddenly become like this? Young Master Di, did little Jiu have any hidden illness in the past? Elder Qi could not find the cause of Yun Chujia's illness and was also sweating profusely. Di Baiming's expression changed. Could it be the strange grass in the Guai Chao's dantian? Last time, it was because of the fight between the Guai Chao and the Great Void Mirror that the Guai Chao was in unbearable pain. Could it be that the Guai Chao was behind this again? Elder Qi, if there is a foreign object in the dantian, can it be taken out? There is a foreign object in the dantian. How is that possible? A person's dantian is extremely fragile. Even the slightest mistake in cultivation could cause cracks to appear in the dantian, let alone a foreign object. If the dantian is destroyed, then this person's cultivation will come to an end. What if there really is a foreign object? Di Baiming also felt that this situation was inconceivable. However, there was indeed a foreign object in Black Thing's dantian. Fuck, it wasn't just one, but two. Even if this situation really exists, it can't be taken out. Unless the dantian is taken out through a rupture of the abdomen, then this person will become a cripple and won't be able to cultivate for the rest of his life. Elder Qi was suddenly stunned, then, he looked at Yun Chujio who was lying on the bed in fear. Young Master Di, do you mean to say that there is something in little Jio's dantian? Di Baiming swept his gaze across the room. Seeing that everyone in the room was trustworthy, he said in a low voice, that's right. There is something growing in little Jio's dantian. A blade of grass. I suspect that it is because of that little Jio became like this. What the hell? Everyone in the room felt that the young Master Di was most likely crazy. What was he talking about? There's a blade of grass growing in little Jio's dantian. Fuck. Did you think that it was a field? There's even a blade of grass growing. This was ridiculous to the extreme. Young Master Di, is what you said true? Elder Qi also felt that this young Master Di was most likely too upset and was starting to talk nonsense. It's true. There is indeed a stalk of grass in little Jio's dantian. I wonder if there is a way to take it out. Elder Qi shook his head like a rattledrum. Young Master Di, I've already said that it isn't possible unless we cut open her abdomen and take out her dantian. If that's the case, even if we succeed, little Jio won't be able to continue cultivating. Di Baiming also knew that this information was difficult to process. After all, in the past tens of thousands of years, there was only one exception when it came to growing grass in one's dantian. He nodded. You guys can go back first. I want to be alone with little Jio for a while. Elder Qi thought to himself that this was his room. However, he knew that Di Baiming's heart was in a mess, so he did not say much and followed everyone out. Di Baiming held Yun Chujia's cold little hand. Little Jio, Didn't you say that you're a little troublemaker who can't die? Didn't you say that you're the most powerful? I still have 100 of your supreme-grade spirit stones here. If you don't wake up, I'll take it for myself. You can't bear to let me do that, right? If you can't bear that, then quickly wake up. Di Biming did not know what he was talking about. He could only keep talking so that he would not think about what would happen if the black thing never woke up. He could only keep talking so that he would feel that the black thing was still alive. Even though Di Biming's voice was hoarse, Yun Chujio still showed no signs of waking up. Moreover, her pulse was getting weaker and the vitality in her body was rapidly draining. Chapter 551, I will accompany you and protect you. Di Biming walked out of the room and said to Elder Qi, Elder Qi, I'll return to the Tianyuan continent to look for my master. Best case scenario is that I can find him. If I can't find him, I will return in 2 days. When the time comes, please take out little Jiu's dantian. Although cultivation is important, it is more important to protect little Jiu's life. I will find a way to reconstruct her dantian. Elder Qi nodded. Young Master Di, don't be too sad. Little Jiu has the heavens on her side. Maybe things will turn for the better. Di Biming nodded and immediately returned to the Tianyuan continent on a flying spirit tool to look for his master, the old man of Lake Tianqi. The old man of Lake Tianqi did not have a fixed residence. He should be in seclusion somewhere. Di Biming had sent him a voice transmission talisman the last time, but there was no reply. Di Biming knew that the chances of finding the old man were very low, but he had to give it a try even if it was only a 1 in 10,000 success rate. It was not that Di Biming had not thought of looking for other mighty figures in the Tianyuan continent to treat Yun Chujio. Firstly, Yun Chujia's spiritual power was low and she could not enter the Tianyuan continent. Secondly, those mighty figures did not have permanent abodes and he could not find them in a short period of time. Thirdly, Yun Chujio had too many secrets. If he was not careful, not only would he not be able to treat her, but he would also invite trouble. Di Biming traveled day and night, pushing the speed of his flying spirit tool to its limit. He and his subordinates went to a few places that the old man might have gone to, but they still could not find his whereabouts. Even though Di Biming was mentally prepared, he still felt disheartened. Although he had the Dantian reconstruction technique, the technique was difficult to execute. On top of that, even if he succeeded, the reconstructed Dantian would be extremely fragile. If he was not careful, it would shatter again. If he was truly careless, he might even lose his life. Di Biming returned to Spirit Radiance sect. When Elder Qi and the others saw Di Biming's expression, they knew that he had returned empty-handed. Elder Qi sighed, Young Master Di, this is little Jiu's fate. Don't be too sad. Di Biming had not a drop of water for 2 days and 2 nights. He looked haggard and asked in a hoarse voice, How is little Jiu? I'm afraid she won't last until tomorrow morning. Young Master Di, I've already prepared the tools and pills to cut her abdomen open and remove her dantian. Go in and take a look at little Jiu. Let's hurry up. Although Elder Qi knew that taking out her dantian was the last resort, if she did not have her dantian removed immediately, little Jiu might really lose her life. Di Biming entered the room and saw Yun Chujio lying in bed lifelessly. If it was not for the slight rise and fall of her chest, she would have been no different from a dead person. Di Biming knelt by the bed and grabbed Yun Chujio's hand as tears fell. Little Jiu, it's my fault. I couldn't find my master. I couldn't protect your dantian. If you woke up and found yourself a cripple, you would definitely blame me, right? However, I can't just watch you die. Even if there was a chance of survival, I would want you to survive. Don't worry, I will accompany you to find my master to rebuild your dantian and search for all the heavenly and earthly treasures that can prolong your life. From now on, you don't have to work hard to cultivate. I will accompany you and protect you. Don't you like reading storybooks? I will get someone to buy all the storybooks. I will accompany you to read them, okay? Di Biming really hoped that Yun Chujio would open her eyes then and say to him with a smile, "Don't go back on your words." However, Yun Chujio laid there without any vitality, as if she had fallen into deep sleep forever. Chapter 552, I Can't Die in Peace. Yun Chujio, who was floating above the bed, was laughing her head off. "Oh my, it's quite touching when a gigolo talks about love." Yun Chujio broke into tears after laughing. Fuck. Who would be able to calm down after waking up and discovering that she had turned into a wandering soul? When Yun Chujio regained consciousness, she discovered that her body was lying on the bed while she was floating in the air. She was a little confused at first. When did another me appear? Later, she realized that her soul had left her body and she was a wandering soul. Yun Chujio was like a spectator as she watched Di Biming, Elder Qi, and the others discussing her illness. At first, this fellow thought that it was quite fun and floated down to touch Di Biming's face. Unfortunately, her hand went through Di Biming's body and did not touch anything. She was a little anxious. She wanted to return to her body, but every time she went through it, she could not merge with her body. This girl ran into her body hundreds of times at lightning speed but still could not return to her body. She then started crying. Damn heavens! You can't stand to see me doing well. I just turned into a little beauty, and you did this to me. Sob sob. I didn't even have time to defile the gigolo and just died like that. Oh God, if I die, the gigolo will benefit others. Fuck. I still don't know who wants to kill me. I can't even die in peace. I haven't found my adoptive parents yet, and I still don't know where I came from. I'm about to choke on my own fart. I really can't accept this. Yun Chujio tried all kinds of methods, but she was still unable to return to her body. This fellow was able to adapt to the situation. Perhaps it was because she had transmigrated, so her soul had left her body. It did not matter. Besides, she gained those 2 years of experience. Before she faces death's door, she might as well head out and look at all the humans and beasts. Yun Chujio tried to float away, but she realized that she could not be too far away from her body. She could only float around the house. Yun Chujio was so bored that she wanted to hit the wall. Of course, this fellow had also hit the wall, but her soul just passed through the wall without being damaged. Now that she heard Di Biming's affectionate narration, she grinned and howled. Sob sob. My gigolo, I can't bear to part with you either. But we are destined to be separated. Fuck. If I knew who caused me to become like this, I wouldn't forgive him. The gigolo said that it was the strange grass who caused the trouble, but was it really the green foxtail who made me like that? Sobs. I told you, I am the worm of Cordyceps sinensis. I am a pig that is fattened and waiting to be slaughtered. Strange grass, you've harmed me so you won't be able to recover either. Humph. In a while, Elder Qi will take out my dantian, the gigolo will definitely tear you into pieces. And that broken mirror. What a bullshit piece of divine weapon. Are you just going to watch as your landlord is killed? Aren't you afraid that you won't have a house to live in the future? If I were you, I would smack strange grass to death. Just as Yun Chujio was muttering to herself, she saw Elder Qi walk in with some tools that were prepared to help Yun Chujio retrieve her dantian. Young Master D, it's about time. If we delay any longer, I'm afraid that little Jiu won't be able to hold on until then. Di Biming nodded. Then let's begin. Yun Chujio's emotions were very complicated at that moment. Fuck, who else would be able to watch their stomach get cut open? Chapter 553, Definitely the work of strange grass. Young Master D, pry open little Joe's mouth. I will feed this anesthetic pill to her. After the anesthetic pill takes effect, I will perform the cut, Elder Qi said to Di Biming. Biming pried open Yun Chujia's mouth. Just as Elder Chi placed the pill to Yun Chujia's lips, the pill was actually sucked in. Elder Chi and Biming were stunned. Elder Chi said in surprise, "Little Jiu, are you awake?" Biming was both happy and scared. He looked nervously at Yun Chujio on the bed, but her face was still pale. She lay there lifelessly. "Could it be that my hands are shaking? I'll try feeding little Jiu another blood coagulation pill." Elder Chi gestured for Biming to pry open Yun Chujia's mouth again. Elder Chi placed the blood coagulation pill to Yun Chujia's lips with a slight tremble. Then, the pill was sucked in once again. Yun Chujio, who was floating in the air, could not help but twitch her lips. "It must be that damn grass trick. It must be hungry. Damn. You dare to torture me to death. This time, you are going to be finished too." "Young Master D, what? What's going on?" Little Jiu did not wake up. "Why is this pill being swallowed by itself?" Elder Chi asked in shock. Biming's brows were tightly furrowed, and his eyes suddenly lit up. He took out a bottle of pills from his storage ring and stuffed them into Yun Chujia's mouth one by one. Elder Chi's face was filled with shock. What was young Master D doing this time? Was this the way to eat pills? "Young Master D. Stop. Are you trying to kill little Jiu?" Elder Chi angrily shouted. "Elder Chi. This might be the way to save little Jiu. That strange grass in her dantian likes to eat medicinal pills. Perhaps after feeding it, little Jiu will wake up." Biming said with a trembling voice. What the hell? It was strange enough that there was grass in her dantian. It actually eats medicinal pills. Are you sure you are talking about grass? Elder Chi saw that Biming did not seem to be lying, so he could only watch in a daze as Biming stuffed bottle after bottle of medicinal pills into Yun Chujia's mouth. Elder Chi was surprised to find that Yun Chujia's face was not as pale as before as more and more pills were stuffed into her mouth. Yun Chujio, who was floating in the air, rubbed her chin and cursed, "Fuck." Looking at this, it seems that this incident was definitely caused by strange grass. Damn it, just you wait. If I die, then so be it. But if I come back to life, let's see how I will deal with you. Very quickly, Biming's storage ring was almost emptied of medicinal pills. Elder Chi quickly took out a few bottles of medicinal pills and handed them to Biming. Who would have thought that when Biming put these medicinal pills into Yun Chujia's mouth, she would actually spit them out? Biming and Elder Chi were stunned. Biming frowned, and then his eyes lit up. It must be that the strange grass dislikes low-grade medicinal pills. Elder Chi, quick. Go to the spirit herb garden and get more high-grade medicinal herbs. Break them and feed them to little Jiu. Elder Chi ran out to gather the medicinal herbs with a dumbfounded expression. What the hell is this grass? Not only did it grow in her dantian, it even swallows medicinal pills. The most infuriating thing is that it's picky. It's really too weird. Master Xianyuan and the others were originally waiting outside. When they saw Elder Chi run out like a rabbit, they quickly ran back into the house. Everyone was worried. Could there be an emergency? Hopefully everything goes smoothly. Chapter 554, Shameless Supercilious Grass. Elder Chi put in a lot of effort. All of the herbs he picked were high-grade spirit herbs. Even the 10 earth-grade, high-grade herbs that Xue Wuji gave were brought over as well. Yun Chujio was very touched. TSK. Although I'm very uninteresting, I still have a good relationship with people, right? Elder Chi is such a stingy person, but he actually plucked all these good herbs for me. It's really touching. Damn grass. Just you wait. You eat what's mine, sooner or later, it'll make you spit it out. Elder Qi crushed the herbs and fed them to Yun Chuzhou. As expected, this time she did not spit them out. She swallowed them happily and impatiently. Elder Qi's worldview was refreshed. Only Yun Chuzhou, this little demon, had such a strange thing growing in her dantian. As more and more herbs were fed, Yun Chuzhou's face gradually became rosier, and her pulse became stronger. Di Baiming and Elder Qi were ecstatic. Great! Little Jiu could be saved. Young Master Di, since little Jiu is getting better, let's stop feeding her herbs for the time being. I'll keep an eye on her. You should rest first. Don't let little Jiu fall ill when she wakes up. Elder Qi said to Di Baiming. Di Baiming shook his head. I'll just sit here and meditate. You should go back and rest. The two of them were worried about Yun Chuzhou, so they decided to stay. However, they soon discovered a problem. Although Yun Chuzhou was getting better, a day and a night had passed, but Yun Chuzhou still had not woken up. What's going on? Little Jiu's body should have fully recovered by now, so why isn't she awake yet? Elder Qi was puzzled. Di Baiming also frowned. What on earth was going on? Yun Chuzhou pointed at her stomach and cursed, "Fuck. Fuck. Oh my god. Fuck. You damn foxtail. Are you planning to take over this body? Do you think that because you've taken over my body, my Prince Charming will feed you medicinal pills and herbs every day? Dream on. My Prince Charming is wise and mighty, he will soon see through your tricks. When I get you out, I will step on you with my feet. I will chop you with a large kitchen knife. I will beat you with a rolling pin. I will fry you with a frying pan. I don't believe that I can't kill you." Di Baiming, who was watching Yun Chuzhou by the bed, noticed that Yun Chuzhou was trembling and could not help but shout in surprise, "Elder Qi! Little Jiu moved. Little Jiu moved just now." Elder Qi also rushed forward and stared at Yun Chuzhou with anticipation, hoping that she would awaken immediately. Yun Chuzhou saw that strange grass was afraid, so she continued to curse, "Strange grass. You heartless, evil grass. If it weren't for me, you would still be a seed. I would be equivalent to your mother. You actually want to kill your mother, you ungrateful grass. Even if you take over my body, you will not be able to survive in the grass world anymore. You will be notorious for thousands of years." Yun Chuzhou, who was lying on the bed, trembled even more violently. Yun Chuzhou decided to continue her efforts. "Strange grass, you won't be satisfied so easily, right? Are you satisfied with these lousy medicinal herbs? If you kill me, you will never be able to eat those gold-patterned medicinal pills again. If I don't die, I will become more and more powerful. In the future, forget about earth-grade, high-grade herbs, even heaven-grade herbs will be easy to obtain. I've already said it clearly enough. Whether you want to be a shameless, supercilious grass or a conscientious grass with integrity, you decide." Chapter 555, Was Little Jiu possessed by a ghost? At that moment, in Yun Chuzhou's dantian, the strange plant had already grown its fourth leaf. Since it swallowed a large number of medicinal pills and herbs, the 4 leaves were glossy and shiny. When it heard Yun Chuzhou's words, the leaf swayed non-stop as if it was unable to make up its mind. Yun Chuzhou continued to say, "Little mirror, you will have no place to live if I die. Do you still want those fragments of yours? Don't you want to become an awe-inspiring divine artifact once again?" The void mirror trembled, and then it slammed toward the roots of the strange grass. Yun Chuzhou, who was lying on the bed, twitched in pain, and a layer of cold sweat immediately appeared on her head. Di Baiming and Elder Qi were shocked, but they did not know what was going on, so they could only be anxious. Yun Chuzhou jumped up and cheered for the void mirror, "Little mirror. Well done. Since I can't live anymore, why don't you kill strange grass? Hit it well. Kill this ungrateful, supercilious grass. Yun Chujio was shouting vigorously when suddenly, a huge suction force came, followed by a sharp pain from her dantian. Fuck. It hurts so much. Little mirror, stop. Landlord, I'm back. Yun Chujio realized that her soul and body had become one, so she quickly stopped the mirror from doing anything. The great void mirror hit the strange grass hard again, and only then did it return to its own territory. Strange grass noticed Yun Chujio's spiritual sense and all 4 of its leaves curled up. It looked like it was too ashamed to see anyone. Strange grass, I didn't expect you to have such evil intentions. You actually want to take over your nesting ground. You really are a black-hearted, pompous grass. Just you wait, I won't let you off. I'll cut you out of my abdomen right now. I don't want this dantian anymore. Little mirror, don't worry. I'll treat you well. As for you, strange grass. Humph. I'll fry you. Chop you up with a knife. Torture you in 18 way. Strange grass roots kept shaking, and its 4 leaves kept swaying as if it was begging for mercy. Yun Chujio snorted coldly, hypocrite. I was deceived by your hypocrisy in the past. This time, I'll remove you no matter what. I want to see if your heart is truly evil. You black-hearted, supercilious grass. Strange grass stopped trembling and seemed as though it was hesitating. Then, Yun Chujio noticed that there were strands of green light emitting from strange grass body and swimming into her veins. Yun Chujio felt that her meridians were extremely comfortable. It was as if her entire body was filled with strength. Her meridians became sturdier. Cough. Cough. It was as though 2 small steamed buns had popped up on her chest. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. Oh my. This strange grass can actually do that. Then wouldn't my plan of using my chest to suffocate the gigolo be easily realized? Di Biming and Elder Chi stared blankly at Yun Chujio on the bed. What the hell was that wretched smile on her face? Was little Jiu possessed by a ghost? Little Jiu. Little Jiu. Are you awake? Di Biming asked in a slightly trembling voice. Yun Chujio opened her eyes and laughed dryly. Prince Charming, I've made you worry. Anyway, will you still keep your promise? Can I ask Enfong to buy storybooks for me? Di Biming knelt by the bed and hugged Yun Chujio. He laid his head on Yun Chujio's body and was silent for a long time. Elder Chi saw this and tactfully retreated. Only then did he think of his herbs. His heart ached so much that he groaned. Chapter 556, Supercilious Grass. After a long while, Di Biming finally raised his head, but his eyes were slightly red. It seemed that he did not want Yun Chujio to see him cry. Yun Chujio's nose was sore. She sat up and hugged Di Biming's neck. Sob sob. Prince Charming, I thought I would never see you again. I thought I was going to be taken over by that strange grass. Sob sob, that damned strange grass is really a supercilious grass. If I didn't threaten it to cut its belly, that bastard wouldn't have let me come back. Sob sob, if it wasn't for little mirror helping me teach it a lesson, that damned strange grass might not really have let me back into the body. That black-hearted bastard. Sob sob, the thing I regret the most is that I choked on my fart before I managed to pounce on and defile you. If I die, it will definitely benefit some coquettish bitch. Di Biming glared at her. What nonsense are you spouting? You won't die. I'll find a way to help you get that grass out of your body sooner or later. Yun Chujio saw Di Biming's slightly red ears and said with a smile, Prince Charming, are you shy? Di Biming looked at Yun Chujio's smiling face with tears still hanging on it and hugged her, covering his lips with hers. Yun Chujio's head exploded like thousands of fireworks blooming in the night sky. Since when did the gigolo become so whiny? Hee, but I like it. The 2 of them lingered on each other's lips for a long time. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and started to play dirty tricks. Gigolo, I'll give it to you today. Bang! She pounced forward. Since Di Biming was kneeling on the ground and Yun Chujio was sitting on the bed, Di Biming was instantly pushed to the ground by Yun Chujio. Di Biming was about to get up when Yun Chujio hugged Di Biming's face and kissed him. Young Master Di. I heard that little Jio is awake. Little Jio, we came to see you. Ah, cough cough. I didn't see anything, my eyesight hasn't been very good recently. When Elder Chu, Master Xianyuan, and the others heard that Yun Chujio was awake, they could not wait to visit her. Who would have thought that they would see Yun Chujio the moment they entered the house? Oh God, was this the same person who was so sick that she was about to die? She was just a perverted little wolf, was she not? It was really too much to see. They could not bear to look straight at her. Di Biming's face instantly turned red. No matter how thick-skinned Yun Chujio was, the moment she was exposed, her face also turned slightly red. However, this fellow's skin wasn't something that an ordinary person could compare to. After a moment of embarrassment, he calmly said, Prince Charming, quickly get up. Don't be so careless in the future. If you didn't fall and I didn't have to help you, would I have fallen? I've just recovered from a serious illness, and my body is weak as it is. This fall makes my head feel dizzy. After saying that, she got up and laid on the bed, pretending to be dead. Poor Di Biming stood up with a red face. He did not even dare to look at Master Xianyuan and the others. He wished that he could strangle Yun Chujio who was pretending to be dead on the bed. Master Xianyuan quickly said, well, since little Jio is feeling dizzy, let's visit her another day. I have something to do anyway. Goodbye. Yes. Yes. I also have something to do. Me too. Goodbye. Master Xianyuan and the others left in a flash. Di Biming said to Yun Chujio fiercely, black thing. Very good. You sold me out at a critical moment. I must punish you well. Yun Chujio jumped up from the bed and rushed out of the room. Well, Prince Charming, I'll go back to the dormitory first. See you later. Chapter 557, Worry. Although Di Biming was gritting his teeth in anger on the surface, his heart was occupied by the immense joy of Yun Chujio waking up. He could not believe that the black thing was really cured. However, he was still very worried in his heart. The grass in her dantian was like a sharp sword on her neck. It could kill her at any moment. Yun Chujio took out the chopping board and ran back to the dormitory as if a wolf was chasing after her. Ah, wasn't that embarrassing? The gigolo was actually surrounded by people. These old guys had no manners at all. They actually barged in without knocking on the door. Damn it. If I were to do something bad again, I'd definitely activate the isolation array. This girl thought of her little steamed buns. Oh my, they've bulged a little. It seems that I'm one step closer to becoming a great beauty. Di Biming entered the bedroom and saw Yun Chujio. Di Biming's face instantly turned red. He turned around and stammered, black thing. What are you doing in broad daylight? Yun Chujio's face turned even redder. She shouted, who told you to come in without knocking? I didn't do anything. I was just taking a look. Hee, they've really made some progress. Di Biming, who was looking at her face, was stunned at first. Then, he thought of something and his nose started bleeding. Prince Charming, why is your nose bleeding again? This is an illness. You need to be treated. Otherwise, you'll bleed to death in the future. Di Biming glared at her, covered his nose, and ran away. Yun Chujio giggled happily. Gigolo, you want to fight with me? I'll tease you to death. Di Biming entered the bedroom with a straight face. Black thing, tell me in detail what happened this time. It's the damn foxtail. When I woke up, I found my soul had left my body. I just floated in the air and watched you guys. Yun Chujo told him what she had experienced. Are you saying that the strange grass wants to take your body for its own? It can control your body? Yes, previously in the desert, this supercilious grass controlled my body and made me drink a lot of water. Prince Charming, this pig of a grass is getting fatter and fatter, and I think it's about to kill me. A rare trace of worry appeared on Yun Chujia's small face. Although Di Baiming was even more worried, he calmly said to Yun Chujio, "Black Thing, you don't have to worry too much. I've already sent my subordinates to look for my master. As long as I find my master, I will definitely have a way to get rid of this strange grass." Yun Chujio nodded. "Prince Charming, then before your master has any news, I will temporarily stop cultivating. If I level up again, maybe the strange grass will grow another leaf. At that time, I will really choke on my farts." Di Baiming nodded. "What you said makes sense. Let's not cultivate for the time being." After this incident, Di Baiming had already thought things through. If the black thing is weak, so be it. Worst comes to worst, I will send a few more people to protect her. As long as she's alive, it's better than any other thing already. Yun Chujio continued with a smile, "Prince Charming, didn't you say that you would get someone to buy all the storybooks that I like and give them to me? Quickly send someone to buy them. It will be good for me to pass the time." Di Baiming nodded. "Anfeng, go to Spirit Radiant City right now and buy all the storybooks that little Jiu likes." Anfeng agreed and left with a hopeless expression. When he thought about how people would perceive him when he buys those storybooks, he really wanted to die. Chapter 558, What birthday gift did you give me during lunch? Anfeng came back. "Miss Jiu, here are the books you wanted." Yun Chujio took it and flipped through it. She was very satisfied. "Anfeng, your taste is not bad. You picked the ones that I like to read. It seems that you are a kindred spirit." "Kindred spirit? Kindred spirit, my foot." The people in the shop looked at me as if I was a pervert. Most importantly, these storybooks were all paid from my own pocket. You didn't even give me a single spirit stone. From that day on, Yun Chujio once again lived a carefree life of playing with cats on the East Peak and walking dogs on the West Peak. Di Baiming no longer forced her to cultivate. Every day, she would only eat, drink, and play while reading storybooks. However, for some reason, Yun Chujio felt guilty for wasting her time like this. She laughed at herself in her heart because she was in such a battered state, so why was it that she felt uncomfortable to relax? However, Yun Chujio quickly found a new joy because her 16th birthday was coming up. It was a good opportunity to make a fortune. Thus, from Master Xianyuan to the servants in the Middle Peak kitchen, they were all extorted by this gal. Her little stash was instantly filled. "Prince Charming, tomorrow is my birthday. What birthday present are you planning to give me?" Yun Chujio blinked her starry eyes and asked Di Baiming the night before. "You'll know tomorrow." "What time is it?" "Hurry up and sleep. Prince Charming, just tell me. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep well tonight." "Sleep? Humph. I know even if you don't tell me. Are you planning to give yourself to me as a birthday present?" An alluring image appeared in Yun Chujio's mind. Di Baiming took off his clothes and tied a bow on his head. He lay on the bed and gestured at her. The more she thought about it, the more wretched she became. She could not help but laugh out loud. "Nonsense. Go to sleep quickly. If you don't sleep soon, you won't be allowed to read your books tomorrow." Di Baiming heard Yun Chujio's laughter and could not help but feel a little intimidated. "If you don't want to tell me, then don't. Anyway, I'll know tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. Come quickly tomorrow." Yun Chujio mumbled and finally fell asleep. The next evening, Yun Chujio's small courtyard was very lively. Yun Chuzi and the others were there to celebrate Yun Chujia's birthday. They lit a bonfire in the courtyard and chatted while barbecuing meat. Yun Chujia's heart felt as if a kitten was scratching it. What birthday present did the gigolo prepare for her? He still had not given it to her. How hateful. Little sister Jiu, big brother is here to celebrate your birthday. Shui Wuji appeared in front of everyone as he spoke. Big brother Wuji, you came at the right time. Come and eat the roast meat. What about the present you're going to give me for my birthday? Give it to me first, lest you forget about it. Yun Chujio stretched out her claws and asked shamelessly. Shui Wuji took out a delicate jade hairpin from his storage ring. Little sister Jiu, I chose this from the blood demon sex treasury after a few days of contemplation. This is a high-grade spirit tool that can withstand a fatal blow from a 9th-level spirit emperor cultivator. Do you like it? Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. I like it. I really like it. Thank you, brother Wuji. Shui Wuji saw that Yun Chujio was very happy and could not help but glance at Di Baiming proudly. Little sister Jiu, I wonder what birthday present Di Baiming gave you. Compared to the jade hairpin that I gave you, which one do you like better? My Prince Charming hasn't given it to me yet. Yun Chujio pouted and said. Seriously, everyone has already given me their gift, but only the gigolo is being nonchalant about it. Was he not going to give her anything? Chapter 559, Peaceful Times Waiting for Flowers to Bloom. When Shui Wuji heard Yun Chujia's words, he immediately laughed out loud. Di Baiming, aren't you being a bit too stingy? You actually didn't give anything to little sister Jiu. Little sister Jiu, you can't have such a man. If he doesn't care about you now, wouldn't it be even worse for you if you get married in the future? Di Baiming looked at him indifferently and ignored him. Shui Wuji saw that Di Baiming did not say anything and felt that Di Baiming was feeling guilty. Then, he said, Di Baiming, you kept saying that you liked little Jiu, but it turns out that you were just saying it. How hypocritical. Little sister Jiu, you must keep your eyes open. You can't have such a man. Yun Chujio pouted and looked at Di Baiming. Prince Charming, what kind of birthday present are you going to give me? Are you really not going to give me anything? Little sister Jiu, don't bother with him. If he's not going to give you anything, then so be it. Don't you still have me? I'll give you another gift. What do you like? Do you want something edible or something to use? As long as you want it, I'll give it to you. Shui Wuji was overjoyed. This was a great opportunity for him to show off. Di Baiming, this idiot, actually did not prepare a birthday present. Little Jiu. A deep voice sounded from outside the courtyard. Yun Chujio was stunned and then ran outside the courtyard excitedly. Grandfather. Why are you here? I miss you. Yun Xiaotian patted Yun Chujia's little head. Silly child, today is your 16th birthday. Grandfather is here to give you a birthday present. Sob sob. Grandfather, you being able to come is the best birthday present you can give me. Yun Chujio was so happy that she cried. To her, Yun Xiaotian was the elder she had been closest to for 2 lifetimes, and it was also the first time she had received familial affection from Yun Xiaotian. Therefore, when she saw Yun Xiaotian, she was extremely happy. The grandfather and granddaughter chatted for a while before Yun Chujio asked, Grandfather, how did you come in? Doesn't the Spirit Radiance sect disallow outsiders to enter? Yun Xiaotian smiled and said, It was young Master Di who went to Master Xianyuan and asked An Feng to escort me in. Yun Chujio was stunned, and then she looked at Di Baiming gratefully. Prince Charming, this is the best birthday present I've ever received. Di Baiming smiled faintly. As long as you're happy. Yun Chujio felt a sweetness in her heart, and she suddenly felt that the whole world had become a better place. She happily held Yun Xiaoshan's arm and chatted with Yun Chuzi and the others. Shui Wuji thought sourly at the side, this expressionless Di Biming really knows how to take advantage of the situation. He didn't waste much effort and didn't even spend a single spirit stone, yet he could beat my gift. There's still a long way to go. I don't believe that I can't beat you. Yun Chujia's birthday was exceptionally happy because of Yun Xiaoshan's presence. She was chattering like a little swallow as she shuttled through the crowd. The smile on her face was almost overflowing. Di Biming just sat quietly at the side. As he watched Yun Chujia's happy figure shuttling through the crowd, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He silently swore in his heart, "Little Jiu, I will make sure that you will always have such a carefree smile on your face. All the difficulties and dangers will be borne by me alone." While Yun Chujio was busy, she accidentally turned her head and saw Di Biming's affectionate gaze. It was rare for her face to turn red. She moved closer to Di Biming's side and twisted the corner of her clothes. She whispered shyly, "My Prince Charming, wait for me to grow up. Time spent waiting will be peaceful and flowers will bloom." Chapter 560, My Heart is About to Break. Di Biming was stunned at first, then he was overwhelmed by joy. He really wanted to hold this little person in his arms and to be together all the time, never to be separated. "Little Jiu, I'll wait for you. No matter how long I have to wait, I will wait for you." Di Biming's eyes were full of tenderness. There was only a delicate figure in his eyes, as if the other people and things did not exist anymore. Although Yun Chujio and Di Biming's voices were very soft, Xue Wuji's spiritual power was superb. He still heard it. His heart was sore, and even his nose and eyes were sore. "Little Jiu, little sister, why can't you see my good side? I'm obviously 1,000 times better than that facial paralysis guy. You actually made such a promise to him. You've really made me sad." Xue Wuji was not in the mood to stay any longer. He forced out a smile and said, "Little sister Jiu, I'll go back first. I'll come and see you another day. Goodbye, brother Wuji. Come and play with me if you have time." Yun Chujia's little face was flushed red. She waved at Xue Wuji with a smile. Xue Wuji's heart felt incredibly sour. Little sister Jiu must have blushed because of Di Biming. His heart was about to be broken. "Hua Hua, do you know what it feels like to have your heart broken? Your young master's heart is about to break," Xue Wuji said weakly. Shadow Agent Hua Hua was worried and angry at the same time. He thought to himself, "You deserve it. You asked for it. I told you that Di Biming and Yun Chujio were in love and you shouldn't get involved. In the end, your heart was broken and now you're crying. What good would it do? Hua Hua, I'm asking you a question. Are you mute?" Shadow Agent Hua Hua said respectfully, "Young master, people with broken hearts perish easily. Why don't you take a few pills first?" Xue Wuji was so angry that he almost choked and fainted. However, Huahua's words were not wrong, so he gritted his teeth. "Hua Hua, good. Very good. You're all bullying me. My heart is about to be broken. Little sister Jiu. Sob sob, little sister Jiu, achoo. Achoo. Damn it. Who is talking bad about me?" Yun Chujio sneezed twice. "Little Jiu, did you catch a cold?" Yun Xiaotian asked worriedly. "Grandfather, don't worry. My body is fine. Some bastard must be talking bad about me behind my back. Grandfather, you can stay in the Spirit Radiance sect for a few more days. I will accompany you and take you around. I will go back tomorrow morning. I'm already very happy that Master Xianyuan allowed me to accompany you for your birthday. If you miss me, go back when you have time. I will get someone to cook delicious food for you." Yun Chujio inexplicably felt a little soreness in her nose. "Grandfather, I feel so happy. I have you, my brothers and sisters, and my Prince Charming. I really hope that it will always be like this." Yun Xiaotian patted her little head. Silly child, nothing is forever. However, you must remember that happiness is in your own hands. If it was someone else who lectured her like this, Yun Chujio would definitely roll her eyes at them. However, when those words came out of Yun Xiaoshan's mouth, she felt warmth. At night, everyone took their leave. Yun Xiaotian went to Yun Chusi's courtyard. When the old man saw Di Baiming staying in Yun Chujia's courtyard, he felt a little apprehensive. Could it be that the two children had already started living together? Seeing that his grandfather was worried, Yun Chuzi told Yun Xiaotian about how the siblings had advised Yun Chujio before. Then, he smiled and said, "Grandfather, don't worry. Little Jiu knows what she's doing. She won't go overboard." Yun Xiaotian nodded. The Yun family's future could be said to be bright. A few juniors had entered the Spirit Radiance sect, and they were all inner sect disciples, not to mention a true disciple like little Jiu. However, there was a faint sense of unease in his heart for some reason. Yun Xiaotian secretly shook his head. He was already old, but he loved to let his imagination run wild. He must have been frightened last time. He must have thought too much. Chapter 561, Cloud Shadow Crescent Bracelet. After washing up, Yun Chujio sat cross-legged on the bed and fiddled with the birthday present she had received. She said happily, "I will make a small fortune once I celebrate my birthday. It would be great if I could do it 8 or 10 times a year." The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched. He took out a bracelet from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujio. "Keep this bracelet well." "Wow! It's beautiful. What kind of bracelet is this?" Yun Chujio took the bracelet and played with it. This bracelet was gentle in texture. The most peculiar thing was that there were threads of clouds and a crescent moon in it. "It's a cloud shadow crescent bracelet. My grandmother left it behind," Di Baiming said unnaturally. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Hee, did she leave it behind for her granddaughter-in-law? Isn't this usually given to her daughter-in-law by her mother-in-law? Why is it in your hands? My mother was not around when my grandmother passed away, so she gave the bracelet to me. Di Baiming was a little uncomfortable under Yun Chujio's starry eyes, so he put out the candle. Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming was not willing to say more, so she tactfully did not ask any more questions. She put the bracelet on her wrist, then, she said happily, "Sigh, I can't help it if I'm beautiful. Wearing this bracelet makes my skin look as white as jade, my skin is as smooth as cream, and my beauty heavenly." Di Baiming was a little sad when he thought of the past. However, after being interrupted by Yun Chujio, the corner of his eyes twitched and he immediately threw all those things to the back of his mind. "Oh right, Prince Charming, when is your birthday? I'll give you an unforgettable birthday present." Yun Chujio finished admiring the new bracelet and asked Di Baiming with a smile. "October 10th. October 10th, it's really easy to remember. There are still 3 months left. It's enough for me to prepare a birthday present for you. When the time comes, I will give you a big surprise." Di Baiming was about to speak when the voice transmission talisman in his storage ring started to vibrate. After Di Baiming sent his divine sense in, he could not help but sit up in surprise. "Little Jill. My master has come out of seclusion. You are going to be saved. That's great. Today is really a good day. So many good things have come together. Little Jill, I will rush back to the Tianyuan continent tomorrow and find my master and tell him about your situation in detail. Wait for my good news." Di Baiming said happily. In his opinion, there was no problem that his master could not solve, he must have a way to get rid of the strange grass in the black thing's dantian. Yun Chujio was also very happy. Who would be willing to have something in their dantian? Moreover, she was an ambitious person who wanted to get rid of the suspicious grass as soon as possible. The sooner she got rid of it, the better. The next day, Di Baiming returned to the Tian Yuan continent. Yun Chujiu counted on her fingers and waited for Di Baiming to return. Unexpectedly, 3 days later, Di Baiming sent her a voice transmission talisman. Little Jiu, my master had some urgent matters and I was unable to meet him. Don't be anxious, wait for my news. Yun Chujiu would be lying if she said that she wasn't disappointed. However, she had always been upbeat. After being disappointed for a short while, she became lively again. While she was bored, the ancient mine trial had begun. The ancient mine was an abandoned mine leftover from ancient times. There were all kinds of ore inside, but it would only open once every 10 years. For a month, the 4 great sects would send their disciples to the trial. Only people below the level of spiritual emperor could enter the ancient mine, and the demonic beasts inside were all above level 4. Therefore, the disciples sent to the ancient mine were usually spiritual cultivators. This was because, unlike the other trials, the ancient mine trial did not have jade tokens or other items. If they encountered any danger, they could only rely on themselves. Therefore, if the average disciple felt that their spiritual power level was not sufficient, they would not sign up. Yun Chujiu felt that since she could not cultivate, it would be good to gain some actual combat experience. Hence, she adjusted her spiritual power level to the 8th level of spirit enhancement before hopping over to the mission office to sign up. Chapter 562, I want to register. Yun Chujiu's appearance had caused a group of people to start gossiping. However, given Yun Chujiu's valiant behavior, everyone only dared to do it in a low voice. Heavens, Yun Chujiu rose from the 4th level to the 8th level of spirit enhancement all of a sudden. Isn't this too heaven-defying? TCH. Maybe it was from the overuse of medicinal pills. I heard that many high-level spirit herbs were missing in Elder Chi's spirit herb garden. Perhaps they were all used to refine pills for Yun Chujiu. Humph. Yun Chujiu was really lucky. She passed the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower with pure luck. The sect must value her. If she stayed at the 4th level of spirit enhancement, it wouldn't be good for their reputation. Therefore, they must have put in a lot of effort in her. That makes sense. But what did she come here for? Could it be that she wants to participate in the ancient mine trial? Impossible. The lowest level to go to the ancient mine is the 1st layer of the spirit cultivator realm. Why would she, who is only at the 8th layer of the spirit enhancement realm, join in the fun? Besides, the ancient mine is different from other trials. If she encounters any danger, she has to fend for herself. Unless she had a death wish, she should not sign up. Yun Chujiu hopped in front of the disciple who signed up and handed her name tag to the disciple. I'll sign up. The disciple was stunned for a moment. Yun Chujiu, are you going to sign up for the ancient mine trial? Yun Chujiu nodded. Yes, I'm doing it. Help me sign up. Boom. The crowd instantly exploded. Was Yun Chujiu crazy? She wants to participate in the ancient mine trial. Wasn't she walking to her death? The disciple's eyes flickered. Junior sister Yun, if you're sure, I'll help you sign up. That disciple was by Morris' admirer. Seeing that Yun Chujiu was walking to her doom and wanted to participate in the ancient mine trial, how could he dissuade her? He couldn't wait to register her and ask Bai Moru for credit. When Bai Moru heard that Yun Chujiu was going to participate in the ancient mine trial, he immediately passed the news to Su Yanran through an insider. After Su Yanran received the news and reported the matter to Du Gai, he threw his head back and laughed. Good. Good. I was just worried that I wouldn't have the chance to get rid of that wretched girl. She is rushing to her death. Yanran, during the ancient mine trial, the disciples sent by the Heaven's Gate will listen to your orders. Find an opportunity to kill that wretched girl. If you can kill Yun Chujiu, I will reward you handsomely when you return. Su Yanran nodded. Yun Chujiu, your time has come. This time, you won't be able to escape even if you had wings. When Master Xianyuan learned that Yun Chujio had registered for the ancient mine trial, he was so angry that he went over to Yun Chujio and scolded her. Nonsense! This is simply nonsense. Do you know how dangerous the ancient mine trial is? No jade tokens can be sent out. It has to wait for a month before it can be sent out. The lowest level of demonic beast in there is at least level 4. You are only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. You have advanced. Only then did Master Xianyuan realize that Yun Chujio had already advanced to the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm. He paused for a moment before continuing, even the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm is not enough. Not to mention those demonic beasts, those people from the Heaven's Gate sect cannot be dealt with by you. That old thing Du Gai wants nothing more than to kill you. He will definitely make use of this opportunity to have his disciple kill you. You are not allowed to go. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Master Xianyuan, the tip of a treasured sword comes from sharpening. The fragrance of plum blossoms comes from the bitter cold. How can one see the rainbow without experiencing wind and rain? No one can succeed so easily. I will end up always staying in the Linghua sect and working behind closed doors. That isn't good enough for me. Master Xianyuan was stunned by Yun Chujio's words. This little girl, how did she come up with so many excuses? However, she sounded quite convincing. Chapter 563, Pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. No matter how nicely you word it, it won't do. If you want to increase your combat experience, you can choose another mission. You are not allowed to go to the ancient mine. Master Xianyuan said firmly. Master Xianyuan, it's not like him going alone. Didn't senior brother Feng Ming and the others sign up as well? With them around, it will be fine. Just let me go. The ancient mine sounds awesome. There must be something good inside. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up as she said. Humph. What do you mean by increasing your combat experience? I think you're just greedy. You're going after the ore inside. You've been in danger over and over again, scaring us old bones out of our wits. What if there's another accident this time? Master Xianyuan rubbed his forehead, he felt his head ache. Anyone with such a mischievous family member would all live 10 years less. Then why can senior brother Feng Ming and the others go? Yun Chujio asked unwillingly. Feng Ming is at the 5th level of the spirit cultivator realm. Those who go to the ancient mine for the trial should be at least at the 1st level of the spirit cultivator realm. If you were at the 1st level of the spirit cultivator realm, I would not stop you. I would definitely let you go. Master Xianyuan could not continue because the spirit energy that Yun Chujio displayed at this moment was actually at the 2nd level of the spirit cultivator realm. What's going on? You are actually at the 2nd level? Master Xianyuan rubbed his eyes and asked in disbelief. Yes, that is how low-key am I. Although my cultivation speed is very fast, I still adhere to the principle that pride makes people lag behind and modesty makes people improve. I have always displayed my spiritual power at the 4th level. There aren't many people like me who are this low-key, Yun Chujio said smugly. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched. You're keeping a low profile? I'm afraid you're playing dirty. No wonder this fellow was able to pass the 9th level of the Wu Wei Tower trial. It turned out that she was pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Master Xianyuan, I can go now, right? Don't worry, with my smarts, even if I meet people from the Heaven sect, I'm not afraid, not to mention senior brother Feng Ming and the others, said Yun Chujio as she adjusted her spiritual power level back to the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm, she said with a smile. Master Xianyuan saw that Yun Chujio was determined to go, so he could only nod and agree. He especially brought Feng Ming, Gung Yi, and Shi Xian in front of him and instructed them to ensure Yun Chujio's safety. Although Gung Yi and Shi Xian both nodded and agreed, they still had some doubts in their hearts. Was the master taking Yun Chuzhou too seriously? Could it be that junior sister Jiu had someone powerful behind her? Feng Ming was well aware that such a little devil naturally needed to be protected. Yun Chuzhou went to the General Affairs Office to buy a few pickaxes for mining. She also went to the big kitchen to get a lot of chili noodles and pepper noodles. The stock from last time was all used up in the League of Assassins hideout, so she naturally needed to replenish it. Yun Chuzhou returned to the courtyard and shouted to a corner, "And Feng, come out for a moment. I have something to tell you." And Feng had already passed through the open road, so when he heard Yun Chuzhou calling out to him, he appeared and asked respectfully, "Miss Jiu, what are your orders?" "I'm going to the ancient mine to train in 3 days. Only people below the Spirit Emperor realm can enter there, so you definitely won't be able to enter. When the time comes, you can just wait for me outside." This. Miss Jiu, it said that the ancient mine training is very dangerous. In addition to the people from the heavenly sect, are you sure about this? And Feng was about to cry. If something happened to this little devil, His Excellency would definitely collapse. "I have to go. I have always been too successful. I have to have some challenges to stimulate my potential. Don't worry, I won't die. Even the heavenly thunder can't kill me, not to mention those scum from the heaven sect." Yun Chujia's eyes were filled with determination. "Only through constant training will I become stronger. I, Yun Chuzhou, don't believe in heaven and earth. I only believe in myself." Chapter 564, The Ancient Mine. And Feng had no choice but to nod his head and agree. After Yun Chuzhou entered the room, he quickly told Di Biming about this news. Di Biming felt that cultivation was full of dangers. Simply escaping was not a solution. It was not impossible for the black thing to gain some combat experience. Moreover, she still had a defensive spirit tool and a concealment talisman on her. Hence, he gave Yun Chuzhou a few instructions, but he did not stop her. 3 days later, Yun Chuzhou hopped onto the airship that was heading to the ancient mine. Yun Chuzhou looked around and found that most of the people inside were core disciples. Only a few of them were inner disciples, and their spiritual power was above that of a spirit cultivator. This time, Elder Xiao and Elder Chu were still leading the team to the ancient mine. Yun Chuzhou thought of the lies she made up in front of Gold Face and could not help but giggle. Wu Yenyu said to Zhuo Piaoyu in a low voice, "Senior Sister Zhuo, look at that bitch. She really overestimated herself. A level 8 spirit cultivator actually dared go to the ancient mine. She's really digging her own grave." A trace of viciousness flashed in Zhuo Piaoyu's eyes, but she said, "Don't talk nonsense. If you dare to say bad things about junior sister Yun in front of me in the future, we won't have any more interactions." Wu Yenyu didn't dare to offend Zhuo Piaoyu. She was embarrassed and didn't say anything, but she cursed in her heart. It sounded nice, but she hated her to death in her heart. What a hypocrite. No wonder that bitch Yun Chuzhou said that she was a white lotus. If it wasn't for my father's request from the Zhuo family, I wouldn't have bothered with you. Yun Chuzhou was still together with Feng Ming, Shi Xian, and Gung Yi. They played cards, ate hot pot, and had a lot of fun. She wished that this journey would take as long as possible. It would be better to arrive at the ancient mine later. 3 days later, the airship arrived at its destination. After jumping off the airship, Yun Chuzhou was extremely shocked. In front of her was a huge pit that stretched as far as the eye could see. Because of the enchantment, Yun Chuzhou could only look inside from the edge. There seemed to be a different world inside the pit because there was light coming out from inside. Could it be that this pit was just a passage? The airships of the other 3 sects arrived one after another. As expected, all of them were above the level of a spirit cultivator. Most of these people had seen Yun Chuzhou during the trial of the Wuwei Tower. Although they were a little surprised that Yun Chujio had suddenly risen from the 4th level to the 8th level, they were more disdainful and mocking. A spirit cultivator of the 8th level actually came to the ancient mine for the trial. Her head had been kicked by a spirit beast. Wasn't she courting death? A trace of viciousness appeared in Su Yanren's eyes. Yun Chujio, you have a death wish. You don't have to be anxious. This ancient mine will be your grave. When the opening time of the ancient mine was over, the powerful enchantment instantly disappeared. Everyone scrambled to jump into the deep pit. Yun Chujio squatted at the entrance of the pit and wondered. Oh my God, aren't these people afraid of falling to their deaths? The deep pit looked to be at least a few thousand feet high. After a while, Yun Chujio discovered that the people who had jumped down had instantly disappeared without a trace. It seemed that there was a teleportation array here. Feng Ming saw that Yun Chujio was still not jumping down, so he asked, Junior Sister Little Jiu, are you regretting your decision? If you don't want to go down, follow Elder Chu and the others and wait for us to come back here. Hee, since we're already here, why would we be afraid? I was thinking that if we jumped down, we would be transported to different places. Let's hold hands and jump down together. This way, we can be transported to the same place. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Feng Ming and the other two nodded, so the 4 of them held hands and formed a circle, then jumped into the deep pit. Chapter 565, I'm not tired at all. Just as Yun Chujio felt the wind blowing past her ears, a white light flashed, and the 4 of them were transported to an extremely desolate place. The ground was filled with small rocks. Yun Chujio picked one up and looked at it. Pooh! They were all worthless limestone rocks. Where were the rare ores that she was promised? Senior brother Feng Ming, didn't you say that this ancient mine was filled with gemstones? This place is bare, where are we going to dig for gemstones? Yun Chujio pouted and asked. Feng Ming scratched his head and said, Junior Sister Jiu, I heard from my senior brother who came here before that the places where they were teleported to are basically beside the mine. They could use the pickaxe to dig for gemstones. However, there seems to be something wrong with our situation. Gung Yi picked up the pickaxe and threw it to the ground a few times. He said dejectedly, there is a layer of limestone below. It is impossible for there to be gemstones. Let's go to another place. After everyone nodded their heads in agreement, they originally wanted to ride their swords and leave. They called out their flying swords and realized that this place was a no-fly zone. They could only laugh bitterly as they walked towards the east. As for why they chose the east side, it was because they could vaguely see a tall mountain on the east side. Everyone felt that it must be a mine. With the attraction of the mine, everyone felt that they could accept the fact that it was a little more tiring to travel. Feng Ming and the others usually rode their swords and flew, but this was the first time they had traveled such a long distance. Although they were blessed with spiritual power, they were still exhausted and sweating profusely. On the other hand, Yun Chujio was jumping around and kicking stones when she had nothing to do. She was extremely relaxed. Junior Sister Little Jiu, aren't you tired? Gung Yi asked curiously. Not bad. Are you very tired? Your spiritual power is higher than mine, and you're still boys. Will your physical strength be better than mine? Yun Chujio tilted her small head and asked in puzzlement. When Gung Yi and the other two heard Yun Chujio's question, they immediately straightened their backs and squeezed out a smile. Not tired. Not tired. How can we not have better physical strength than you? I was just worried about you. Yun Chujio nodded. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm not tired at all. Let's speed up. Shining gold ores are waiting for us in front of us. Feng Ming and the other two looked at the lively Yun Chujio and cursed in their hearts. It seemed that little sister Jiu's daily running around the entire Linghua sect was had an effect. At the very least, her physical strength was astonishing. The three of them felt that if they let Yun Chujio beat them, they would lose face, so they gritted their teeth and persevered. When the moon rose, the four of them finally reached the foot of the mountain. Feng Ming and the other two could no longer care about their reputations. They sat on the ground and panted heavily. Yun Chujio, on the other hand, energetically picked up the pickaxe and dug into a rock. Fuck. It's refined iron ore. It's the least valuable. We've come so far for nothing. Yun Chujio picked up a piece of ore and said with disdain. Junior sister Little Jiu, although refined iron ore is not valuable, it's better than nothing. Let's rest for a while and dig after dinner. Feng Ming said weakly. That's right, little ninth junior sister. Although the refined iron ore isn't worth much, there might be some accompanying ores. If we can dig up something like the Misty Mine, we'll be rich. Shi Xian echoed from the side. Yun Chujio nodded. Seeing that the three of them were very tired, she took out a basin of steamed buns from her storage ring. Eat, it's still warm. After you finish eating, rest for the night. It's not too late to dig in the morning. Anyway, it's not worth much, so nobody will be snatching it from us. Chapter 566 is just the tip of the iceberg of my intelligence. When Feng Ming and the other two heard Yun Chujio's words, they were extremely happy. If they weren't afraid that Yun Chujio would laugh at them, they wouldn't have said anything about digging after dinner. They were simply exhausted and falling apart. While the three of them were eating, Yun Chujio found a place to shelter from the wind. She brought out some wood from her storage ring and lit a bonfire. Senior brothers, let's eat here. It can shelter us from the wind and keep us warm. Yun Chujio waved her hand at the three of them. Junior sister Little Jiu, you even prepared firewood? You are really thoughtful. Feng Ming praised. The temperature was dropping rapidly. If it weren't for junior sister Little Jiu, we would have to circulate our spiritual power to maintain our body temperature. What's the big deal? I even buried some spirit potatoes under the bonfire. In a while, let's move the bonfire away so we can eat the roasted spirit potatoes. Yun Chujio hadn't learned anything much in her previous life, but she had learned these survival skills quite well. Sure enough, after a while, Yun Chujio moved the bonfire and then took out a few roasted spirit potatoes from underneath the bonfire. The burnt fragrance permeated the air, especially in such cold weather. Eating a piece of it warmed her heart. Yun Chujio moved the bonfire to a different place every once in a while. Feng Ming and the other two asked in puzzlement, Junior sister Little Jiu, this bonfire is burning well. Why do you keep moving it? Yun Chujio smiled slyly. The bonfire is burning hot down here. It's just right to sleep on it. It's so warm. The three of you take turns to be on night duty. You can even get a break like this. I'm going to sleep first. Feng Ming and the other two wanted to praise Yun Chujio for her resourcefulness, but they swallowed their words. Well, they didn't plan to let Yun Chujio watch the night. After all, she was the youngest and a girl. But don't you know how to be a little tactful and let them show their grace as seniors? It's really warm when you lie on it. Junior sister Little Jiu is really smart. Shi Xian couldn't help but praise her. It was rare to sleep so warmly in the wilderness. Just average. This is just the tip of the iceberg of my intelligence. You will find out how much smarter I am in the future, Yun Chujio said shamelessly. Shi Xian, Feng Ming and Yun Chujio had known each other for the longest time. They had long been used to her shameless spirit. They smiled and said, you two will get used to it. Junior sister Little Jiu can't breathe if she doesn't praise herself a little every day. Yun Chujio pouted and said, Senior brother Feng Ming, is that called self-praise? I'm stating the facts, okay? I'm just that smart. There's nothing I can do about it. Say, if you didn't have my intelligence, would you be able to eat the hot roasted spirit potato? Could you sleep so warmly? Feng Ming couldn't help but laugh. Good. Good. Junior sister Little Jiu is the smartest. Junior sister Little Jiu is from the Linghua sect. Ah, no, she's the smartest person in the Qingxian continent. That's enough praise, right? Yun Chujiu then said with a smile, that's more like it. Let's go to bed. See you tomorrow. Feng Ming and the other two shook their heads. Junior sister Little Jiu was indeed young. She still had a child's character. They did not know if she would be able to keep going for the next few days. The night passed exceptionally peacefully. There were no enemies or demonic beasts. Everyone rested well and their physical strength had also recovered. The next day, after breakfast, the four of them began to dig. Yun Chujiu dug for half a day and only managed to find a little iron concentrate. She did not see a hint of any so-called valuable ores. She was extremely regretful at this moment. She was really stupid. She should have brought the fire essence beasts. They could just eat and dig out a lot of ore, right? What a miscalculation. Chapter 567, Stone-Eating Rats. The four of them had been digging for a whole day. Although they had dug up some concentrated iron ores, they did not see any more valuable ones. They were a little discouraged. Concentrated iron ore was already easily found outside, so it was not worth wasting time on this. Yun Chujiu threw the pickaxe on the ground. Senior brother Feng Ming, is there no way to quickly determine whether there is anything more valuable? Feng Ming wiped the sweat from his forehead. Unless there is a stone-eating rat. However, stone-eating rats are ancient demonic beasts. It is said to be extinct. It feeds on all kinds of ores and can determine the type of ores in a mine by its sense of smell. Yun Chujiu's eyes lit up. This stone-eating rat sounds like a helpful thing. This is an ancient mine. There might really be stone-eating rats alive here. It would be great if we could catch 8 or 10 of them. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched. You must be out of your mind. 10 or 8 of them. Did you think that these stone-eating rats are everywhere? If we could catch even one, it would be enough to cause a stir in the Qingxian continent, right? If one found stone-eating rats, it would be like owning a treasure trove. As long as the stone-eating rats found a place that contained precious ores, the owner would be waiting to count the potential money. Junior sister Jiu, don't dream about it. Don't mention 10 or 8, even one stone-eating rat is hard to come by. This ancient mine had existed for tens of thousands of years. People who come to the mine for training have never encountered any. The stone-eating rat must have been extinct for years, Gung Yi said. Well, let's not talk about the stone-eating rat first. We have been digging for a whole day, but we haven't found anything more than iron. Should we change places tomorrow? Yun Chujiu asked Feng Ming and the other two. The three of them also felt that the possibility of finding precious ore here was not high. They all agreed to leave tomorrow in search of a new mine. At night, Feng Ming and the other two were still on duty. At midnight, Gung Yi, who was in charge of night duty, found several blue lights in the distance. Gung Yi was stunned at first, then he was so scared that he quickly woke up Feng Ming and the other two. Wake up! Wake up! There are mine wolves are coming. Oh my God! There are 20 to 30 of them, right? Mine wolves are rank 5 demonic beasts. If there were around only 10 of them, we could still fight them. But there are so many of them, we can't beat them at all. What should we do? Let's run. Shi Xian said in a low voice. Feng Ming disagreed and said, run. Where should we run? We can't ride our swords here, how can we outrun these crazy wolves? Why don't we climb up the mine? Shi Xian wanted to slap himself after saying that. Mine wolves were different from other demon wolves. They were better at climbing. If they chose to climb up the mine, it would only speed up their inevitable demise. We can't win this fight, and we can't run either. What should we do? Shi Xian asked anxiously when he saw the wolf pack getting closer and closer. We can only fight them head-on. Junior sister Little Jiu, when the wolf pack pounces on us later, we will hold them back. You should run quickly. Feng Ming saw that Yun Chujiu hadn't said anything and was paralyzed with fear, so he quickly instructed her. There are a total of 24 mine wolves. Senior brother Feng Ming is at the 5th layer of the spirit cultivator realm. You deal with 6. Gung Yi and senior brother Shi Xian, you are at the 4th layer of the spirit cultivator realm. The 3 of you deal with 4 each. I will deal with the remaining 10. I will help you after killing them. Yun Chujiu said faintly. Feng Ming was so angry that he was amused. Junior sister Little Jiu, do you realize the situation we're in? Do you still have the mood to joke? Quickly activate the defensive spirit tools on your body. When we take action in a while, run immediately. Run as fast as you can, do you hear me? Chapter 568, Little Jiu's Thunderbolt. Feng Ming saw that Yun Chujiu kept silent. He was so anxious that his face was red and shouted, Junior sister Little Jiu, this is not the time to be stubborn. I have promised the sect master that I must guarantee your safety. Gung Yi and Shi Xian also said anxiously, yes, Junior sister Little Jiu, this is not a joke. These mine wolves are extremely ferocious. While we will hold them off, you have to run quickly. Yun Chujiu sighed, do you think I am that weak? I am a 2nd-level spirit cultivator, not an 8th-level spirit enhancement practitioner. It was just to confuse others. Yun Chujiu adjusted her spiritual power level to the level of a 2nd-level spirit cultivator. Then, she saw the dumbstruck faces of Feng Ming and the other 2. Damn it, you really are a 2nd-level spirit cultivator. Why didn't you say so earlier? You made us worry for you in vain. Junior sister Little Jiu, although you are at the 2nd level of the spirit cultivator realm, you can only deal with 2 mine wolves at most. How about I deal with 8 mine wolves, and Gung Yi and the others will deal with 7 mine wolves each. You can deal with 2 mine wolves. If you can't beat them, you will run immediately. Do you hear me? Feng Ming said seriously. Yun Chujiu could only nod her head. She thought to herself that it was better to let the facts speak for themselves. By the way, this would be the first time she used her thunder spirit power in front of them. What pose would she use to appear cool and attractive later? Feng Ming and the other 2 saw Yun Chujiu mumbling in a low voice and thought that she was nervous, so they comforted her one after another. Junior sister Little Jiu, although a mine wolf is equivalent to a 2nd-level spirit cultivator, the demonic beasts are not that intelligent. In addition, we have a spirit tool on us, so we might have a chance of winning. You don't have to be too nervous. That's right, Junior sister Little Jiu, you might not have encountered such a situation before. You'll get used to it. We've all been in these situations before. Although it's dangerous this time, it's not hopeless. We'll definitely be able to turn the situation around. Don't be afraid. Yes, Junior sister Little Jiu. If you're really afraid, you can deal with 1 wolf in the meantime. Leave the other one to me. In any case, 1 more or 1 less is no big deal. Although Feng Ming and the other 2 were very nervous, they all put on a relaxed look to comfort Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu inexplicably felt a little sour in her nose and said with a smile, I'm not afraid. I'll show you how powerful I am. Feng Ming and the other 2 shook their heads in their hearts. Junior sister Jiu was too blindly confident. No matter how powerful a 2nd-level spirit cultivator was, how powerful could she possibly be? Will she still be as powerful as them? When the fight starts, no matter what, they had to protect her first and not let her get hurt. At this time, the mine wolf pack had already arrived in front of them. The leader was a slightly larger wolf king, and its blue eyes revealed a greedy light. The Wolf King cried out a few times, and the pack of wolves rushed towards the four of them. Feng Ming and the other two formed a triangle, protecting Yun Chuzhou in the middle, and blocked the mine wolves that pounced over toward her. Yun Chuzhou originally wanted to make a move immediately, but seeing the posture of Feng Ming and the other two, she thought about it and decided to observe the situation first. It was a good opportunity to test the strength of the three of them. In the beginning, Feng Ming and the other two were full of spiritual energy and could cope with it. As time passed, they gradually began to falter. Feng Ming shouted, "Junior sister Little Jiu, we will block the wolves in a while, you have to quickly run." "Run? I am not here to practice running. Look at my Little Jiu's thunderbolt." Yun Chuzhou shouted and purple lightning struck the mine wolves in front of her. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.